Okay, Scott and Ciaran here with Southwest Boxing Media in association with Bricks and Streetwear. Delighted to be joined by British welterweight Liam Taylor. Liam, how are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, good. I'm in training camp at the minute, getting ready for my fight 2 weeks on Saturday.
Oh, wicked. We did see a very interesting video today of you, Liam, in the gym. What on earth was going on? Was that a dare or I mean...
What was that today?
Yeah, give us some context. I think he was naked.
It wasn't me. It was Zach Miller, that, you know. So like, oh, he's mad. He's absolutely crazy. Like, so he fought on weekend just gone. He don't really train with us in the day usually, but he's got like ADHD, so he's like always full of energy. We finished training and they just started dancing, so I started recording him messing about, and then he went, "Watch this then. Have you ever seen naked pull-ups?" And I was like, "What?" And he just stripped down and started doing naked pull-ups. So yeah, it was a bit of a mad one, but yeah, he's a good character to have around. You know what I mean? So it's funny, yeah.
You sort of touched upon it, but there, Liam, as you said, you're 2.5 weeks out now from your fight. Benn Sanchez is your opponent. Just tell us how good has this camp gone for you personally, mate? You must be raring to go now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, I always train hard. I'm always fit. I'm always ready. Obviously, I'm constantly improving. Do you know what I mean? So this camp's gone great, and it's just, this is sort of like a tick-over fight. You know, I'm not trying to big it up to be a big fight, but I've just got to stay active. You know what I mean? I could have just sat around and waited for MTK to put something together, but I just needed to get busy. So yeah, but training's gone great. I'm feeling good and strong in the gym. So yeah, come with that.
No,
is the eye as well? I got to ask you, Lee, is the eye part of that camp that we're currently going through as well? Make a bit of sparring, I suppose.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, it's in our sparring, like with Jack and Zach, like, but it's more technique. Do you know what I mean? Steve, my coach, he's a bit of a perfectionist, so we have to drill stuff until it's right. And I mean, sometimes you're just getting caught because you're trying to get it perfect. And like I say, it's not really open sparring. We're just drilling stuff constantly. So yeah, it's one. Yeah, it's a bad one, but yeah, it's boxing, isn't
it? So I mean, like we said, Liam, it's been a year, you know, since you last fought.
Yeah.
I mean, does that time up to the ring give you any worries of like potential ring rust, mate, or is it just a case of, you know, like you said, you've prepared in every way possible and you're just very much looking forward to, you know, make up the time out of the ring, come in, fight night?
Yeah, no, to be honest, I'm literally always in the gym, you know what I mean? I love training, like, so, and Steve, our coach, he don't let you have any time off, you know what I mean? It's not as though I don't burn out, but I'm always in the gym. I'm always ready, you know, give me 4 weeks notice, I'll do the weight and I'll be ready to fight. So it's not an issue with that. I just thought there was an available show in Manchester, you know, my fans couldn't come and see me for my last fight. I love fighting at the Victoria Warehouse, you know, I've probably boxed there 4 or 5 times. So it was just, I just wanted to fight, do you know what I mean? So nothing big came up. So I thought, well, I'll jump on this and then something will come off the back of it, I'm hoping, yeah.
I mean, looking at your opponent, he's obviously very experienced, you know, 45 pro fights to his name. And it's worth mentioning as well, he shared the ring with Jorge Linares and Miguel Buchelt. Just tell us, what do you know about him? What have you and your team looked at, you know, looking ahead to the fight now of him?
Well, I'll be honest, Steve came to me on Monday and said, look, I've been looking over the weekend at opponents for you. And he put that name to me. He said, I've watched him. I like the way we fight. I think that he'll bring the best out of you. We'll bring him. He's a potential, you know, we can bring him over. Should we? I said, well, yeah, if it makes sense for you, I'm easy. At the minute, I've not watched him, but I'll watch him probably next week with Steve. We'll go through stuff. But he's already in his head, he already knows what I've got to do. We're drilling it. So, yeah, it must be a good opponent if Steve pits him, or it must be right for future plans for us, you know, for possible opponents in the future.
Going into your fights, Liam, do you like to watch much of your opponents? Because we know some fighters like to do it and sit down with their trainers, their coaching team. Yeah. But then there's other fighters that don't like to do it so much and just sort of, you know, focus on yourself and what you were doing right instead.
Yeah, I literally don't watch any. I'll be honest, I don't really watch anything. An opponent will get announced, Steel say, watch it. So I'll put my opponent on YouTube. The first video comes up, or the newest video. I'll watch 5 minutes and think, right, that's it. Because I think you can get too obsessed with it. You know, I think I think if I get myself prepared, fit, and Steve's my coach, he does all that. He knows what he's doing. He'll drill stuff in my head and it'll work fine. Now, I've literally, you know, I've never watched any of my opponents massively, I'll be honest. It seems to be working, so I'll just keep doing that.
I mean, Ciaran said, he's had 45 fights, but I think he's got more losses than wins. And obviously,
Not more wins than losses, Annie. Sorry.
Yeah. Obviously, he's sort of 37. You were obviously going to be the guy that's going to be, heavily, touted to win the fight.
Yeah,
Was that hard pressure to make, knowing you're going in there, I'm sort of the favourite here by quite a bit? Was that sort of play on your mind at all, or was it just about getting the business done?
To be honest, no. I'll go into it like just with one thing on my mind, and that's putting on a good performance. You know what I mean? When I fought Tetley in my last fight, I think I was a slight underdog. People saying, "Oh, he's unbeaten." That sort of spurred me on a little bit. Same with the Jenkins fight. When I am the underdog, don't get me wrong, it will definitely spur me on. But me being heavily favourite for this, I'll be switched on, don't get me wrong, but it won't affect me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose you sort of be expecting, really, when you to be favoured anyway, seeing who the opponent is and everything.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I understand that. Like I say, it is sort of not a tick over fight in a sense, but I've got to keep busy over 8 rounds. So that's what I'm hoping to do, yeah.
Obviously, we mentioned that with experience and we talked about it from his side. But, from yourself as well, Liam, it's fair to say, you've got the experience in big fights yourself. Obviously, we've got to mention the fight with Chris for the British and Commonwealth titles. And then, obviously, as you've said, the Darren Tetley fight, which was obviously voted MTK Fight of the Year. Do you feel there's an expectation for you to always be in highly entertaining fights with?
I do, yeah. And to be honest, I love it. I love being in I love fighting. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's it's a pressure I put on myself as well. Go in there, and I don't just want to be in a boring fight where people leave going, "Oh, he looked all right." I want to be in good fights. Sometimes I get caught too much, but I'll always make sure that I'll give it everything, and that's always my mentality going into it. As long as I can give it everything, then that's all that matters to me.
We've got to ask you, mate, about obviously the Chris Jenkins fight, the draw. What was sort of your stance on the way that played out, and obviously on the result?
Yeah, it's still hard to hear that. Yeah, no, I'll be honest. It still does annoy me. I'll be truthfully honest with you. I think the fight, how it played out, I didn't want it to go an extra few seconds and become champion that way, but I wanted another shot at it, and I think I deserved it. Do you know what I mean? And anyone who's involved in boxing who doesn't agree there, then I don't know what's wrong with them, because if I'm a mandatory challenger for a belt before he even won the belt and we drew, how can that not then be an immediate rematch? I then beat Darren Tetley in an eliminator for the British title, and I still get overlooked and put into another final eliminator. So for me, if you're looking at it and saying there's no other way to look at it, I should be mandatory, I should be fighting for the British title. That's my view on it. I think it's a lot of people's views on it who know, but I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. There's nothing I can say that's going to change anything, is there? So we'll just move on.
Is that what the aim is now? It is to get another shot, another sort of bite of the cherry?
Well, I'm highly ranked in Europe. I think I'm number 3 in Europe. So I'm going to try and push down that route. I know Lee and from MTK has been talking to the EBU. I think Conor Benn's ranked above me and Brook. So I don't think either of them are going to push for Avanesyan. I'd happily take it. We're just waiting now to see what can be done. So that's what I'm going to be pushing for, because I think the British it's another 12 months off, I'll be honest. So, and I'm not going to sit around waiting for that. I want to progress my career. So if I'm not getting the opportunity, like I say, I believe I should have got a British title straight off it. It's been sat there, no one's contested it since I last fought for it. It's a bit of a joke, but again, we move on.
Sort of touched upon the next question I was going to ask you, but then Liam, I was going to say to you, obviously you just fully focused on what's in front of you on the 24th. We understand that. Yeah. You mentioned obviously goals and ambitions now moving forward.
Yeah.
Is it just a case of, are you somebody who looks ahead and gives yourself long-term targets, or are you just a case of, look, it's one fight at a time, I just deal with what's in front of me and then we move on?
A bit of both, really. Obviously, look, I've got an aim in my head that what I want to achieve as a professional, and that's to be as successful as possible. So I'd be stupid to say, I'm looking at this next fight. I'm not. I'm looking at the EBU, the European title fight, the Champions Avanesyan. I'd fight him. Do you know what I mean? I'd love that fight. Whether it can be made, I don't know. Time will tell. But yeah, I'm looking ahead to that sort of route as well. Yeah, definitely. I'm a little bit ahead. Yeah, I'm not taking my eye off the ball for the fight, but yeah, I want a decent title fight next.
I mean, just want to get your thoughts on, you know, crowds coming back and, you know, rumours of sort of full capacity just from the corner. You expecting sort of, you know, many fans in the Victoria Warehouse in your next fight, mate?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got quite a lot of fans coming myself, I'll be honest, yeah. So I'm hoping there's no problems with it, and there'll be a lot of noise on the night. Yeah, that's my hope anyway.
I mean, we've seen we've seen a lot of fighters, and you know, look at Josh Warrington. He normally has his massive fan base. You know, losing without fans is. I mean, what's your take been on the fact that, you know, having, you know, sort of a silence in sort of boxing is, I mean, from a sort of a boxer and from a fan perspective, have you enjoyed it, or do you think you can't wait to get the fans back in?
Yeah, I mean, when I did fight Tetley, it was a bit mad. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to lie. Like, we got to the venue and it was like deadly silent. Do you know what I mean? You could just hear the bell and a little bit of noise, then you do your ring walk, and usually, obviously, like I say, you buzz off the crowd. You know, the adrenaline, whether you're the home fighter or the away fighter. It was a bit different. I'm glad that I did it, but I wouldn't want to do it again. I'm glad that fans are back anyway. Yeah.
No,
I mean, I think it's, you know, most fighters say it as well. The fans can give you that extra 10%. Connie, sometimes, you know, in a fight where you need to dig deep, you know, you really need to get stuck in, and having the voices and the fans behind you, it can give you that extra 10%, Connie.
Yeah, 100%. Like I say, when I fought last at the Victoria Warehouse against Tyrone Nurse, you know, I had quite a lot of fans there that night, and you know, like I say, around 8, around 9, when you're struggling and you hear your fans when you're catching a good shot, it does push you on a little bit, and yeah, that's a big part of boxing, the fans.
Yeah, definitely, and I think it's just worth mentioning. Obviously, the show that you're fighting on, it is a Pat Barrett show. Just worth mentioning with Pat. I mean, he's doing brilliant things in boxing currently. I think it's fair to say, you know, obviously in his role as a trainer, of course, with Lyndon and Zelfa, he's doing great things. But also putting on shows like this now with fighters such as yourself, I'm sure you'll agree he's doing very good things in boxing at the moment, Lee. Oh,
great. Yeah, listen, he's like I say, with Patty, he invests a lot of his time and stuff, organising stuff like this, and puts a lot of time into his fighters as well. You know, he's a good man, isn't he, Pat? So, yeah, it's good that he's got me on this show, because I know there was a lot of fighters who wanted to get on it, but he's had me on it from the start, and yeah, fair play to him.
No, we can be well. Liam, on behalf of myself and Ciaran and Southwest Boxing Media, we do really wish you the best on the 24th of July. That's the date, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it is, yeah.
So we'd like to obviously wish you the very best for the 24th, mate, and you know, we'll have to catch up again soon, mate, when after you win on the 24th.
100%, yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah. And then
Liam, thanks for your time today, mate.
Yeah. Nice one, boys.
Nice one, Liam. Take care, mate.